Okay, see here. So if we are talking about DNA fingerprinting, let us first talk about DNA. Before going to see the pattern which is specific for each and every individual, let us have a brief idea about DNA. Now, DNA, what we know about DNA is that if we see a DNA, we have two types of sequence in case of DNA. One is called repetitive sequence, one is called non-repetitive sequence. So when DNA is subjected to a particular process called density gradient centrifugation, what happened that time? So when it is subjected to density gradient centrifugation, we get two different type of peaks. One is large peak and we get a small peak in case of DNA. Now if I am talking about this small peak, we say that small peak belongs to something known as satellite DNA. Okay, and this large peak basically is for the bulk DNA. Now this satellite DNA is also known as your repetitive DNA. So this is your repetitive DNA sequence, and this bulk DNA basically consists of your non-repetitive DNA sequence. And we should understand one thing: the satellite DNA do not code for anything, do not code for proteins. Okay, and in this bulk DNA we have not one thing you need to understand, because we have seen Human Genome Project. I have discussed there only 2% of the DNA codes for the particular protein. So this consists of both introns and exons. Okay, so we have a major portion here as introns only, and here we have a major portion of a minor portion which is exon. Now this satellite DNA is of different types. Many different types are there, but we're gonna deal with only two different types. One is called the microsatellite and one is called the mini satellite. Now see, microsatellite or a mini satellite are basically what? Repetitive sequence. Now let us try to understand what is repetitive sequence. Now repetitive sequence means it's a chain of nucleotide. For example, A, G, A, T, C, G, C. Just for example, this is a chain. Then normal DNA sequence is there. Then what happened? Again this particular thing is coming up. Again we have a normal DNA sequence. Again this thing is coming up. So if a particular set of nucleotide is getting repeated many times in a DNA, then we say that this particular sequence is a repetitive sequence. Okay, now the length of this particular repetitive sequence determine whether it should belong to a microsatellite portion or it should belong to a mini satellite portion. So what is the difference between the length? So let us see what is the difference. So for example, if we are talking about a microsatellite repetitive DNA sequence, so this range from 2 to 7 nucleotide long, or sometime go to 2 to 10 nucleotide long. So they are basically very short sequence which are getting repeated many times. But when you see a mini satellite, we are talking about 0.1 to 2 kilo base pair, which I can say 100 base pair to 2000 base pair. Okay, so this is the difference in micro and a mini satellite DNA. Now for example, if I am taking an example here, that a DNA is there which have your 10,000 nucleotide base pair. Okay, this thing also you can represent as base pairs. Okay, 2 to 10 base pairs. Now what I'm saying, there is a DNA which have 10,000 base pair, and if I'm saying, tell me one thing, that microsatellite here, okay, how many times it can be present? So it can be at least present one time, or if I take this as 10, basic size as 10, then I can say like it can be present how many times? 1000 times. So minimum is 1 and maximum is 1000 times. But if we talk about mini satellite DNA, what do you see? In case of mini satellite, what do I see is it can be present 1 time, and if it is average size is 2000, if I am saying the size is 2 times, then it can be present 5 times. This is the maximum number it can be present. Now tell me one thing. If I am asking you that you have to study microsatellite, you have to take the DNA sequence and you have to go and search the microsatellite DNA in that. Will that will be easy, or you have to search for the mini satellite that will be easy? Now see, this is 1000 times. This is only 5 times. So obviously checking this will be much easier as compared to this. Going for studying 1000 pages note and going and studying 5 pages notes, which will be easy? 5 pages? Right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Right, sir.
So tell me one thing. Like in DNA fingerprinting, which one should we use? The microsatellite or the mini satellite?
Mini.
Mini satellite, right? We have to use mini satellite because it is easier to study. So what we use? We use mini satellites. Now this mini satellite is also known as VNTRs, variable number of tandem repeats. What does it stand for? Variable number of tandem repeats. Okay, and this is the one which is used for DNA fingerprinting. So this is something which we gonna use for DNA fingerprinting. Is it clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Condition we have a murder scenario in front of us. हम लोग DNA fingerprinting का प्रोसेस देखेंगे. उसमें एक मर्डर सिनेरियो है जिसमें जो ब्लड सैंपल मिला मर्डर स्पॉट से वो 2 था, एक था बी और एक ए. नाउ बी ब्लड जो सैंपल था वो किसका था? द पार्टिकुलर पर्सन हु डाइड, मिस्टर निडो, and A was of the particular murderer. And we have found that Rishikesh and Rohit have the same blood group. Now what we have to do? The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna isolate the DNA from here. So for example, this is the DNA which we have isolated from sample A. This is the DNA which we have isolated from sample H. And this is the DNA which we have isolated from sample R. Okay. Now what we'll do here is, after extracting, the first step is extracting DNA. After extracting the DNA or isolation of DNA, we're gonna subject this DNA with a restriction endonuclease enzyme. Okay, what we're gonna do? We're gonna cut the DNA with restriction endonuclease enzyme. After cutting the DNA, we'll have this DNA in the sample. Okay, we have the fragments, DNA fragments in A. We have the sample of DNA fragment of H, and we have a fragment of DNA segment of R. Now, I'm gonna run all 3 of them. After cutting it with restriction endonuclease enzyme, I'm gonna run the sample in gel electrophoresis. Okay, so what is gel electrophoresis? It is basically an instrument where we have a agarose gel. So this is basically agarose gel, where you're gonna do what? You're gonna inoculate these particular samples. This side you give a negative charge and this side you give a positive charge. Why? Because DNA is negative charge. Now when you provide this charge, what will happen? DNA will move. DNA will move because from this side you are getting a repelling force, this side you are getting an attractive force. Now the movement is on the basis of molecular weight. So what we see here, the movement is on the basis of molecular weight. The particular DNA with the smaller fragment will move faster, and the particular DNA with the higher molecular weight will move slower. So this is we have for A, we have for H, we have for R. Now in case of A, what we have got is this 4 DNA bands. In case of H, we have this DNA bands, and in case of R, what we are getting is we are getting this DNA bands. So now the problem is with the DNA bands we cannot say which one is murderer, because if you see this line is matching, this line is matching, this line is also matching, and this line is also matching. So now there is confusion, but we have 2 extra lines here. So we have confusion like which one is murderer. So what we do, this is gel, agarose gel, okay. This is something which we are looking in agarose gel. Now what I'm gonna do is, first thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna denature the DNA. Means I'm gonna convert this double stranded DNA into a single stranded DNA. The reason of conversion I will tell you later. Okay. For now we are just converting it. How we gonna convert it? With the help of a alkaline solution. Okay, with the help of an alkaline solution, or you can also utilize something called urea, and we're gonna convert them into a single standard sequence. Now after doing this, so the band will be, the diagram will be same. I'm not gonna draw it. After this, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna transfer this DNA band from this agarose gel to a nylon paper. How we gonna do it? Let's see. For example, this is the gel electrophoresis unit. This is the agarose gel on which the DNA is present, and this contains the liquid which we have. इसमें हम लोगों को क्या देखने को मिलता है? Obvious सा बात है, liquid देखने को मिलता है, तो this is covered by the liquid. Now what I'm gonna do is very simple thing, that I'm gonna put a nylon membrane above this. Okay, what we are doing, we are putting a nylon membrane above this. Now after putting nylon membrane, what we are doing is we are keeping a stack of papers above them. What we gonna do? We're gonna put a stack of paper above the nylon membrane, and the reason of doing it we'll try understand now. Now what will happen? This stack of dry paper which we have, this dry paper which we have here, will absorb water. So water will move up. Now what will happen when the water is going up? The DNA which was present here, okay, will also try to move up. Why? Because the size of the agarose pores are higher than the size of your DNA. So they try to move up. But if you see this membrane which we have, the nylon membrane, their pore size is less. Pore size is less. So they get trapped in membrane. It's something same like how you do when you're gonna like separate this chai patti from your tea. What happens when we pour the tea from that particular gauge? What happens? The chai patti which you have will be stuck in the particular gauge. The same way, when the DNA is going up along the water, it will be catched up by nylon membrane. So what we gonna see? When we gonna absorb the nylon membrane, it will show us the same pattern as you have seen in case of your agarose gel. So you'll have bands like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now what we gonna do? See here. the DNA is bound to the membrane very lightly. Okay, now what we're gonna do? We're gonna do something called backing. Now backing will help in what? It will help the DNA to bind with the membrane. Okay, because now they are bound very firmly. If you put water, the entire DNA will be washed off. Now what we're gonna do is, after this, we're gonna subject this membrane with something. We're gonna subject membrane with single strand DNA probe. Now let us try to understand this part. See, initially we have this double stranded DNA where we have the repetitive sequence, and we know the repetitive sequence. For example, A, T, G, C, C, G and A. This is the sequence which is getting repeated. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna synthesize a complementary DNA band of this one. As a result, there will be a band which will be present here. Let me change the color for this one. One second. What color should we take? For example, let us take yellow. Okay, we synthesize a particular DNA band which is complementary to this A. So here it will be T, A, C, G, G, C, T, and along with this DNA sequence, we put a radioactive material. Now this strand which we have, this is called single stranded DNA probe. इसको क्या बोलते हैं सर? सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए प्रोब बोलते हैं. ना समझिए, जब हमने यहां पर सिंगल स्टैंड बनाया है, क्यों बनाया? क्योंकि अगर ये डबल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए होता तो ये तो एक दूसरे से बाइंड किया होता, तो ये जो प्रोब है वो जाके कहां पर बाइंड करता? नहीं बाइंड कर सकता था. बट क्योंकि हमने उसको सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड बना दिया है, तो ये जो न्यूक्लियोटाइड सीक्वेंस है वो फ्री है. किससे बाइंड करने के लिए? डीएनए प्रोब से बाइंड करने के लिए. तो व्हाट इज दिस सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए प्रोब? इज इट क्लियर? क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन व्हाट इज सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए प्रोब? ओके, चलो. yes, तो अभी इससे आगे समझने का कोशिश करते हैं सर. तो देखिए, दिस सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड डीएनए प्रोब वी गोना पुट. नाउ सी, इट इज आल्सो डीएनए, so it gonna bind with the entire nylon membrane. Okay, it gonna bind with entire nylon membrane. Like, I'm not gonna draw this AHR now, I'm just gonna draw this DNA probe. It will bind with entire particular nylon membrane. Now what we are doing, we are not baking it, because if we bake, they will bind firmly. Now what we gonna do? We're gonna wash them. Okay, what we're gonna do? We're gonna wash. Now two things will happen. See, there will be certain DNA probe which will be binding to this particular DNA sequence. Now this is firmly attached. If something will attach with this one, during washing it will not go off. ये वो टाइटली बाइंड है, उससे कुछ बाइंड कर गया तो वो चीज वहां पर अटक के रह जाएगा. पर बाकी का जितना डीएनए प्रोब है वो क्या होगा? टाइटली बाइंड नहीं था, तो पानी डालते ही वो क्या हो जाएगा सर? आपका वहां से वॉश हो जाएगा. क्लियर? वॉशिंग टू रिमूव एक्स्ट्रा प्रोब्स. ठीक है, वॉश कर दिया, एक्स्ट्रा प्रोब को हटा दिया. अब सर हमको नहीं पता है कि कौन सा पार्टिकुलर जो यहां पर डीएनए है उससे ये प्रोब बाइंड कर रहा है, क्योंकि वो तो नायलॉन मेम्ब्रेन पे नहीं दिखेगा. ऑब्वियस सा बात है ना, ये डीएनए बैंड्स दिखेंगे नायलॉन मेम्ब्रेन पे. इट इज समथिंग वी आर जस्ट ड्राइंग फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड. द नायलॉन मेम्ब्रेन will be appear as simple nylon membrane. Now how we gonna come to know that where with which band it gonna bind? Now what we gonna do is, after this we gonna subject this nylon membrane to X-ray radiation. This is the nylon membrane which we have. We'll take a X-ray film. Okay, we're gonna put a X-ray film after this, and we're gonna give a X-ray radiations. Now what happens in X-ray radiation? Let us try to understand. Subject it to X-ray radiation. Subject it to X-ray radiation. Now when X-ray will fall, what will happen? This radioactive material which was there with the probe will take that radiation and emit another wavelength, and that emitted light will form bands on the X-ray film. So because of the radiation, when we look at the X-ray film, what we gonna get? We gonna get reflection of the probe. Means here the image is forming because of the probe. So wherever the probe will be binding, there what we gonna see? We gonna see the particular image. So we see a image here. We see a image here. We see a image here. This last one do not show any image, which means in this portion there is no repetitive sequence. This is a particular type of what we say waste which is present. It can be anything. Now when we have observed H, what we got? We got this band. Okay, we got this band. We got this band. Okay, we got this band and we got this band. Now if I'm looking, obviously both the bands are not matching with each other, and we should know this thing that a person, if I'm talking about, if I'm taking the sample from their skin cells, or if I'm taking a sample from their pancreas, if I'm taking a sample from their hairs, the DNA bands should exactly 100% match. What was found? That in case of sample R, we got each and every band which was matching with A. Okay, so what I can say, in case of sample A and sample R belong to same person, belong to same person. Clear? This is how DNA fingerprinting is done, sir. DNA fingerprinting. So if we are talking about application of DNA fingerprinting, the first application is crime scenes. Okay, to solve the crime scene particularly, we need this DNA fingerprinting. Next thing, what is the application? We have this parental issues. Okay, for example, if we are in a class and there is a girl coming and saying that Rishikesh is the father of her child. Now the problem is there. What we'll do? We'll take the DNA sample of Rishikesh. We'll take the DNA sample of the particular child, and if 50% of it matches, then congratulations Rishikesh, you are the father. Okay, and the last case is the rape cases. To solve rape case, now we know that the particular sperm cells survive from 24 to 48 hours. Now if a person putting an allegation on a particular person that he is the person who have sexually harassed her or who have sexually done the mating portion, so what we'll do, we'll extract DNA from sperm, match it with the accused, and if it is matching, then we will say okay, this particular person who is accused of the particular crime is the particular culprit, and that particular person will be sentenced. If it doesn't match, it means that that particular person have nothing to do with that and that particular allegation is false. Clear, Babu? So these are your applications. Now, is there any limitation, sir? Yes. Okay, if we are talking about limitation, there is only one single limitation, sir. That is monozygotic twin. Okay, the DNA fingerprinting of a monozygotic twin matches 100%. They have 100% match. So you cannot identify a particular person on the basis of the DNA fingerprinting if they are monozygotic twin. Clear, Babu?